I announced a challenge that on the 3rd of April, I'm gonna live stream a freestyle, and for every single miss, I'm gonna give away a yo-yo. This is my 1 week check-in, and this is such a terrible idea. What I did right after announcing that challenge was I went into my room and I just jammed out for an hour. It actually looked pretty good. Like, when I look back at that video, I'm thinking, damn, you know what? I'm not too bad at yo-yoing. This is workable. I could probably get this. That's where all of the positivity ends. So the first issue I kind of ran into was that I just didn't have an allocated time in the day to practice. I'd imagined that once the date was announced, once the video was uploaded, I would just magically practice. But the thing was that entire days would go by and holy crap, I barely even touched a yo-yo today. So my first step was actually making it a priority. I had to put a little block on my calendar as to when I would yo-yo. It felt really weird. I was just in my room, I was looking at a yo-yo tutorial, I was playing it on YouTube, I was trying to learn it, and it felt like I was a teenager again. It kind of felt bad, it felt like I was wasting time. Why am I spending this time yo-yoing? But then I realized, there's this challenge. This is the thing I should be doing right now. So once I got a consistent time allocated, it became slightly more manageable to show up and yo-yo every single day. Then was the next problem, building the freestyle. And building this freestyle was awful. And I think the main problem was this pedestal, this high expectation I put on this freestyle. I wanted to have like new and difficult tricks that I'd never done before. I wanted this freestyle to be like the most competitive version of myself. And I didn't want it to just be competitive like from me in relation to me. I wanted it to be competitive in general. And all of these expectations really screwed me up. Like, I chose a song with music cues that were too fast, so I couldn't hit any of like the initial music cues. I chose to include tricks that I couldn't properly land or that I hadn't even created yet. And I'd also like lament over the difficulty of the tricks. Like, there would be a section where I'm trying to do a supposed banger and I compare it to another person's freestyle and I'd be like, in relation to that, what I'm doing currently, even though I can't land it, isn't very difficult. So I try to make it even more difficult. And all of these expectations, it made the freestyle almost impossible to land and create. And it made me way worse at yo-yoing. And I think the biggest thing I've learned about this is that yo-yoing, like anything else, there is an element of progressive overload to it. And like, what that means is like, if like you've gone to the gym, you'll know that the way you get stronger is you lift weights, and then you lift a weight that's quite heavy. And the next day you put like a tiny bit more weight on it and you try to lift that weight. And then over time, you get stronger. 40 kilos turns to 45 kilos, turns to 60 kilos, and all of a sudden you're benching 100 kilos. That's the concept of progressive overload. In yo-yo language, me trying to create a freestyle with a song that's too fast, with tricks I can't land or haven't created yet, is like me going to the gym, being like, you know what, I'm kind of out of shape now, and just trying to like lift 100 kilos right off the bat. It's not gonna happen. What you have to do is you kind of have to scale it back a little, which is where I'm at now. Like, for those of you who are like, Brandon, you're exaggerating, this freestyle is not that difficult, you're just the drama queen. Like, literally, when I was showing Gentry this freestyle, I could not land it. So the way I showed Gentry the freestyle to get further critique was I literally go into my editing software, I would record each trick individually, because it would take me like 20 times to land that particular combo, and then I would literally mix and match it to the music, and I'd give him this like hosh-posh of combos that I could only land individually, and I would artificially stitch it up together. And that's how he would give me his feedback. I think the main lesson in all of this is that this perfectionist approach isn't just inefficient, it doesn't work. But I also think that trying to do a freestyle that is beyond your current level of yo-yoing ability is the only way to actually objectively improve as a yo-yo player. I can like mix and match combos that I'm comfortable with for like hours. You guys see me do it for 24 hours straight. I could do that for the next 5 years and never get any better at yo-yoing. So you need to actually progressively do different, more difficult, more ambitious tricks to kind of get to that next level. The way I'm going about it is pretty unintelligent, but the intention's in the right place. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating, this is a draft freestyle that kind of gets the scaffold, gets the structure going. Once I can consistently land this, I can then start to inch up the difficulty, inch up the innovation, inch up the tricks that I can't land yet, and that way it kind of has a foundation, and then you can refine and improve, and you get to that level where it's like, that's the solid freestyle. But if you try to get there right out of the gate, it's like trying to bench press 100 kilos. It's not gonna happen. So I thought I would share some tips as to what I'm doing now that have kind of helped me get the ball rolling, if you will. Now, the first thing I've realized is that it's actually a good idea to slow down the music you're using. When I slowed the music down from like 100% to like 75%, I realized that it felt really slow, but that gave me so much time to like land each trick carefully and consistently. And then I was able to be like, okay, this combo can fit here, this combo can't fit here. So it gave me a realistic picture of what tricks could fit where and what couldn't. Next thing is make it easier. What I mean by this is you may have an ultimate trick that you want to do, but do an easier version of that trick first, get the general muscle memory for that down, and then insert the more difficult trick. For instance, there's a part in this freestyle where I do a cross arm GT, and the ultimate ambition is to go in a behind the back GT. So from there to behind the back GT. There is no way I'm landing that. I've landed that like twice in my entire life, and I put it into a freestyle. Trying to attempt that in the freestyle, I'm just gonna miss it every single time. So what I'm decided to do now is that the trick that's in there is made significantly easier. It's literally just there to a normal cross arm GT, and that way I'm able to land it, and then if I wanna practice that other trick in my own time, I can do it, and if it's ready, I can put it into the freestyle. Third tip is called what I call placeholder tricks. Now, these are tricks that you put in that aren't essentially the finished product, but generally give the indication of where the trick is ultimately gonna go. So for instance, this is me and my over the head combo. Right now, I don't really have a set in stone over the head combo. I hate over the head tricks. They're really difficult. I feel like I'm gonna get hit in the face. So right now, the section where I'm gonna do my over the head combo is literally just 1.5 hops. And I just do that so I get the rough structure down, and then I can go back in later and then further and further refine it. And then after all of that, you just have to rep this freestyle out. You just have to keep doing it, keep trying to grind it out. And then slowly, once you kind of get a draft freestyle, you can then begin to inch it up, and that's how it works. I was trying to do the opposite. I was trying to do the hardest version of the freestyle and just making no progress. So yeah, that's a little bit of an update as to where I'm at with this challenge. I definitely think that announcing this challenge publicly and having a fixed set date to work on and improve on has really kind of given me the bandwidth to justify spending like 2-3 hours a day just yo-yoing. One thing I would ask you guys is, how's your practice going? Are you guys practicing? Comment down below what you guys want to see, and that's it from me. Any comments, questions, criticisms, post them down below, and I will see you guys next time.